I'm here with Mr. Will Esau. He is a VC grad, and I'll let him take it away with his introduction.
My name is Will Esau. I graduated in 2010. Ended up going to BCIT in the Architectural Building Technology program, where I found my passion for architecture. Currently, I'm a project manager at MGB Architecture, and the firm focuses on a lot of commercial, residential, mixed-use, industrial, institutional, so a little bit of everything. It's been a fun ride, and I graduated BCIT 2016, so I've been there for a little bit now. Clients find us or we find them who can work with them. Our specialty is to look at the different types of zoning and city limitations, be it in City of Vancouver, City of Burnaby, Surrey, what have you. Every municipality has its own limitations and own statutes on what you can and can't build within their city limits. And then work with the developer to maximize what you can put on there based on the needs and uses of that space.
And how much money they have, I guess.
And how much money they have.
So I approached you to talk a little bit more to my students. I teach a newer course in the province of British Columbia. What are your thoughts about a course called Urban Studies that dives into urban planning, which is essentially what you do for work?
I wish this was around when I was going through BC. It's a very big industry, and I think Vancouver's GDP really depends on it. There's so many different facets you can get into, and all the beautiful things that essentially form the city we're in.
Yeah, Vancouver is very unique in regards to its urban planning and development, renowned around the world. In your mind, what are some future potential areas of study or future jobs that these students might be able to utilize with this course?
I'll start with my bias, and that's in architecture. It's cool, a good industry to be in. So that's in the design and implementation. So that could be as an architect, as an engineer, and as an engineer, there's many different types: structural, mechanical, electrical, and civil engineers. So that's on the design side. You can also find employment through developers. So that's a team that tries to acquire and manage development throughout the city. So acquire raw land or land that has current uses. There's also definitely job opportunities working within the municipalities or the province or even the federal government on working with developers to let them know what they can and can't do. Of course, developers are going to try and make some profits, but it's the city that's holding them honest. So that's three aspects there. There's also aspects within the construction industry. Let's not forget about that. Trades are very sought after, highly skilled, and frankly, highly well paid. So starting from the ground, you'll need a civil trade to actually dig a hole in the ground, let's say. So that's your demolition, excavation. Then you get into your formers or your carpenters who essentially, they use wood to build molds for concrete, or your steel fabricators. And then you get into framing, then you get into drywallers, mudders. Of course, electricians are very important to run circuitry throughout. Mechanical trades, be it plumbing or HVAC trades, so that essentially take fresh air from outside, bring it in through a bunch of different ways. And then from there, your painters, what other trades are there? Carpet installers, tile layers.
Yeah, and a course like this would obviously give you more background knowledge to all the different trades that are needed to build a building.
The industry is very short in skilled labor right now, so don't discount trades and the good work that they can do.
Okay, so working with you, we've come up with a fun little project based on a program called SketchUp. What does SketchUp mean to you? How have you used SketchUp at school at BCIT, and how does your industry use it?
SketchUp is amazing. It's super user-friendly. At school, it was a great tool to get design ideas down in 3D. In the real world here in the office, it's used for a lot of massing models. They're quick ways to show presentation to clients. The application for SketchUp are widespread. So, I mean, even for personal use or fun projects. I know for my condo, when I first got it, I modeled it up and essentially found a way to lay everything out and make sure everything fits. So these fun things are available to you. It's just a good skill to be able to have a 3D modeling software at your ready.
That's really cool. Yeah, I know a lot of the TV shows on HGTV or Home and Garden Television. All of those shows, Love It or List It, Vancouver, Property Brothers, they use SketchUp to showcase their designs in a way that engage the viewers and the audience. It's cool that you made a SketchUp of your apartment. That looks amazing.
Yeah, it's fun modeling things, and you can kind of go in and move things around and helps get ideas across, because really it's all about communication. That's just a really good way of visual communication. So
Yeah, and SketchUp, you can go as micro as an apartment to macro, which is what we're going to be doing with this project.
yeah.
All right. So let's introduce this assignment. What is zoning, and I guess why is it important for these students to know? Like, what are they trying to do in this assignment?
This assignment is a great way to understand essentially the city's limitations on different areas. So it's a breakdown of a very elaborate series of documents that the city has published. Each one of these are different zones. So that's the City of Vancouver site. And I think Mr. Esau has linked you to this, but essentially each one of these specific zones lists a whole bunch of limitations. So if your plot of land is within the district I1, it has to follow this schedule of requirements. Say you have an I1 district and you want to build a church, you're good. It's an outright approved use. But if you want to build a artist studio or a theater, it's not an outright condition approved use. So that means you have to go to the city's development department and say, hey, I know you don't outright approve this, but I want to put it in, and these are my reasons for doing that. What you can't do unless you rezone it is put in a 3-story residential building. It's just not what this zone is for. Typically, you'll find an I1 in the outskirts of town. Think Basin Marine Drive. Think industrial areas. That's where you'll find this. There you go. So, because it plays really well with it. This zoning map essentially shows the City of Vancouver. So typically your industrial is probably, like I mentioned, Marine Drive here at the base. That's a whole bunch of industrial. You know, if you're taking a snapshot of the city, most of it is this white, which is RS1, which, as you can guess, is single family housing. You get into downtown, you got a whole lot of CD zones or comprehensive development zones. They're site specific that allow you to do X, Y, and Z within that zone. That's where you have things that list not only the use, but the conditions of the use. So in this I1 zone, the maximum height of the building is 18.3 meters. If it's 18.4 meters, the city's not going to let you do it. And if you want 18.7, the city's not going to let you do it, but you can try and negotiate. It also goes through setbacks and rear yards and a whole bunch of stuff that isn't super fun to read, but it's very important.
Cool. What do we want students to be doing for this assignment?
We would like to have an understanding of what zoning is and limitations on it. If you know that this red represents a CD1 zone, there's probably a limitation on height. So a building that is extremely tall and out of place, that won't fly by the city. You also probably can't put a single family home in that zone because it doesn't make sense for a home to be in that area where it's very high density, typically for business uses and whatnot. So this is a good way to understand how cities lay their lands out.
So at the end of the day, what we want students to do is to create their own little area of the city that relates to the zones and the zoning bylaws that we've given them. So they have complete autonomy to be creative and design their own homes. But an example of some limitations and restrictions is if we zoom in to the residential area in purple, you'll notice that there's certain setbacks that need to be applied. In single family homes, they can't have townhouses or multiple family homes or a very tall building. Can you just explain what a setback is?
So a setback is all governed from a property line. This single family homes typically have a frontage, side yard setback, and rear setback. So the front setback is from the street's frontage. So in this example, the setback here for this home is 3.5 feet. The reason why that's the case is if you didn't have that setback, you have a lot of front doors opening on the sidewalks, for example. Think single family neighborhoods where you have your home's quite a bit further back. So allows for a front yard, maybe a small fence or a bit of a garden. Rear setbacks are typically in place to allow for a lane that allows folks to travel in and out through their laneway to access their garage.
Or like a garbage truck to go and do the garbage.
Yeah. City services. There's other setbacks in between buildings, say for a townhouse development. Some of them are attached, some of them are detached, but setbacks in between townhouses are shown here at 5 feet. Essentially, it allows form and ability to move around within the space for the pedestrians. So that would be I think a sidewalk on the side of a home. If these were all together and clumped up, you'd have to access individual suites to get from the front to the back. And it's really hard to bring your garbage to the back every time.
This is a really cool project, and I'm excited to see what the students come up with. Thank you again for your time. I know we're all busy these days, but I really appreciate your time developing this with me, and hopefully the students will like this project.
Absolutely. I know I would when I was their age. So good luck, have fun, and go to town.
Perfect. I can't wait to share some of these things with you.